Singles. Let's start with "Close to You" by Dayglow.
So Dayglow is an artist that I did in my music recommendations like a year and a half ago maybe or something, a while back, and he released his album Fuzzy Brain. It's like a really cool indie artist out of Texas, and he had a couple of songs that blew up over. Especially I heard "Can I Call You Tonight" a lot over this past previous year. But anyways, he has a single came out, "Close to You," and I really enjoy it. It still has like his tried and true sound, but his voice is maturing a little bit more in this song I heard, which I like a lot. That was kind of like my one thing when I listened to his album was his voice, as you could tell, is needed a little bit more work for a couple of pieces, but the production was great, and it's overall it's a fun like danceable track and everything, and good indie music, which is just getting pumped out.
Yeah, the voice was definitely less distracting, and like you said, it goes back to his tried and true style. Maybe we'll see some music from him soon.
I think he's going to be releasing an album later in the year, I believe.
That'll be great, because I was saying this will be a good kind of juxtaposition to Roosevelt, for example.
Yes.
Who we know will be releasing music in February.
And I know Phoenix should be releasing an album this year as well as a couple other good alternative and indie bands. Speaking of another one, we have Kings of Leon. With a double single here with Bandit and 100,000 People. They are releasing an album this year. They haven't released one in about 5 years. The last one was Walls in 2016. I like Kings of Leon a lot. They have a lot of good music. I mean, they've been a prominent band for nearly 15 years out of Nashville. And I really like the Bandit, the first track on it. It's like their tried and true sound of rock, but it's the problem I had with Walls when that came out a few years ago was that it was a little too poppy-ish for me, a little too upbeat, but then this goes back to like their pyro days and stuff in the early 2010s, but still feels a little bit fresher than it did in Walls. So I like this.
Yeah, I think it's really good. Of the two, I like 100,000 People. I think the Bandit was a really nice thing. It's like you're bringing a Kings of Leon kind of alternative rock aughts sound into the I wouldn't even say 20s, but at least the 10s. So it's kind of there. But 100,000 People feels like you're doing something a little bit different, a little bit more interesting. You have this like
they
synth
slow
kind of
down,
thing
and I like that they slow down because usually they don't really have too many songs that slow down. The only stuff that I could think of is like in their album Come Around Sundown. There's some stuff there that's a little bit slowed down, like Pyro and a couple others. But yeah, I like it because it sets up the album for some interesting stuff. Because 100,000 People, it's nothing that I haven't heard Kings of Leon do that much. So that's making me anticipate the album even more. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, should be an exciting year of music. And it should be an exciting year for Audioface. Speaking of, we'll get this off at the top. Audioface can be found on Twitter at AudiofacePod. AudioFacepod. I always used to confuse C and S's all the time as a kid, but it's AudiofacePod. Pretty simple. Instagram is the same thing at AudiofacePod. Our YouTube is youtube.com/AudiofacePod.
Oh, finally.
We have that as our URL now. Thank you for the folks who have been subscribing to us. We literally wouldn't have gotten that feature unless a lot of people subscribe to us. So continue doing that. Go to youtube.com/AudiofacePod to do that. And if you're a real one, youtube.audioface.show still works. I'm not going to take it down. It already exists. Why bother? Plus, it'll break like the first 170 episodes. So why bother? Rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Yep. That's a good thing. Follow us on Spotify. Yeah. Looks like the 4 years or so we've been doing this podcast that Spotify and Apple Podcasts have won out.
Yeah.
For dominating that monopoly. So.
And then also always give us recommendations too. If you want us to review stuff, if you want us to listen to shit or stories or whatever, talk about things, just give us a DM.
We're beginning to get to the point where we're getting a lot more of those now, so we'll probably integrate those into new singles, so that'll be fun. And make sure you do that. Power Report is the thing we also do. That was really fun. Powerreport.world for all of that stuff. It's the political thing. New episode on, I remember I made this rundown doc before everything happened earlier this year. New episode on all of the Capitol stuff happening. And Biden getting reelected and all that different interesting fun things. The political stuff. youtube.com/DanFamierNet. Can be found there. And thank Dan, it's Friday, my weekly Friday Twitch stream show. I'll have special guests on that. In addition to having guests on Power Report, I have a lot planned for that this year, and I mean it this time. So go to twitch.tv/sourcestream for that. And just follow me at Dan from the Web on Twitter, and I'll post about all those things incessantly.